Hey friends, have you ever asked yourself this question? Why do bad habits feel so good? Like eating junk food, burgers, pizza. Oh man, sweet things. Just thinking about them makes my mouth water. There are also other bad habits, like scrolling on your phone all day, wasting time, watching porn, watching inappropriate things, doing inappropriate things, or other types of addictions. Once you do it, you want to do it again and again. We know these are bad habits and shouldn't be part of our lives, yet they easily creep into our lives, and we keep repeating them. On the other hand, good habits are really beneficial. We know this, but we still struggle to adopt them. Why? Well, the author of Atomic Habits, James Clear, gives an answer to this in his book. I'm going to explain this to you in great detail today. Specifically, there are 4 characteristics that bad habits often have. Because of these, even bad habits start feeling good to us. On the other hand, good habits often lack these 4 characteristics, which is why we struggle to adopt them. If you look at page 212 of this book, you'll find the crux of the entire book there. And that's exactly what I'm going to explain to you today. I'll tell you about the 4 characteristics. Make it obvious, make it attractive. Make it easy, and make it satisfying, and how you should apply them to good habits. At the same time, you need to reverse them for bad habits. Only then will bad habits leave your life, and good habits will take their place. Because, as we all know, our life is essentially a product. A product of what? A product of all the actions we take regularly, meaning our habits. And if we develop good habits, our life will change, whether it's in terms of health, wealth, relationships, or happiness. That's why today's video is going to be one of the best videos for your life. I guarantee you the best summary of Atomic Habits. I'm going to explain the entire framework to you. How you need to apply 4 key things to good habits so that they stick and aren't just temporary. At the same time, you'll need to reverse these 4 things for bad habits so that they disappear from your life. This is the entire framework, and I'm going to explain it to you very easily. Plus, I'll show you how you can apply all these principles in your life. I'll also share some personal examples. Stay tuned to learn more. Now, let's start. The first characteristic that makes bad habits so tempting is make it obvious. How many of you watching this video have a habit of eating something sweet after a meal? You must have noticed this, even when a friend or relative has eaten. So much that their stomach is completely full. There's absolutely no space left for more food, yet they still crave something sweet. Their stomach is so tight that at any moment a shirt button could fly off and hit someone in the eye. But still, if you ask that person, "Are you full?" they'll say yes. But if you ask, "Will you have something sweet?" they'll reply, "Oh, there's always room for dessert," and they'll eat sweets wholeheartedly. This action clearly shows how powerful this bad habit is. Why is it so powerful? Because this habit is very obvious. The culture we live in has made eating something sweet after a meal so common, so obvious that if you don't do it, it feels strange. That's why, many times, when you go to a restaurant, you enjoy your meal, order appetizers, and the main course. But if you don't order dessert, even the waiter might judge you, thinking, "Why aren't they ordering dessert?" And you will also feel like something is missing. Well, when something is made this obvious, like, "At this time, you must do this thing," it becomes very easy for that habit to become permanent. And you'll see this happening a lot with bad habits. For example, the moment you feel bored, what's the obvious solution? Go online, waste time. Feeling lazy? The obvious go-to action is to quickly grab your phone, go online, scroll through social media. You have a clear, obvious path. You know exactly how to waste your time. But, on the other hand, healthy habits don't work this way. You must have noticed. These days, there are so many videos about what's healthy and what's not. If you want to eat a salad, there are so many types of salads. Which one should you eat? When should you eat it? Some say eat it between meals. Some say eat it first. Others say drink milk, while some say milk is unhealthy. This happens with good habits. You'll notice that nothing is obvious. Instead, everything is confusing. Some people say this food is good, while others say, "No, even this food isn't good." So, what does our brain do? It says, "Forget it. Both of these foods are confusing," and then it goes straight for junk food because that's something we obviously know we enjoy. The same thing happens with watching TV. Pay attention to when this habit develops. Usually people watch TV while eating. Including me, I'm guilty of this too. Why does this happen? Because it's obvious. We already know that as soon as we sit down to eat, we should turn on the TV. Even in relationships, bad habits often become very obvious. If you get an urge, there's already an obvious answer in your mind. You know exactly which website to open, where to go, and what to do. There's already a clearly defined path for it. Whenever we get certain urges, we often have a defined path in our minds, and we simply follow it. In other words, it's obvious. The same thing applies to happiness. Many addictive things are also very obvious. For example, if I meet this friend, I'll do this specific thing with them. I'll do this bad habit, and it will make me happy. I'll enjoy it. But when it comes to good habits, things aren't that obvious. Want to eat a salad? What should be in the salad? No idea. How to make it tasty? No idea. When to eat it? How to eat it? How much to eat? So much confusion. The same goes for many other health-related food choices. They come with a lot of confusion. Since it's not obvious, it creates confusion, and that's why we don't do it. Want to go to INVERT? The gym? When should you go? Some say morning, others say evening. Again, confusion. So, what does the brain say? Forget it, man. Just stay where you are. Now, if you look at relationships, what's a good habit? Building confidence, going up and talking to your ideal partner. But even here, your mind is full of confusion. When should I talk to them? What should I say? What shouldn't I say? Again, you don't have an obvious path, so what happens? You don't do it. Instead, you go back to scrolling on your phone, maybe stalking someone attractive online, and whatever follows. But when it comes to happiness and spirituality, we all know we should be more spiritual. Many people watching this video might be very religious, but again, there's confusion in this too. Some people say, do this. Others say, no, you shouldn't do this. It's against our religion. So, what happens? You end up with so much confusion that you don't even know exactly what to do. And because of that, you won't adopt good habits. To make things obvious, you can do 3 things. Implementation. Intention. For whatever good habit you want to adopt, decide clearly. When will you do it? Where will you do it? What exactly is the habit? If you clearly define these things, your intention to implement the habit will be set. This will increase the probability of making it obvious and actually doing it. So, do this. Habit stacking. This means pairing your new habit with an existing one you already do. For example, here's what I did. I made it a rule to eat salad before meals. Eating salad is a good habit, so what did I do? I started doing it right before my meal, linking it to something I already do every day. Because of this, I naturally developed the habit of eating salad before every meal. On the other hand, watching TV while eating is a bad habit that has stuck with me because of habit stacking, and that's something I want to remove from my life. So, you see, the formula is the same. If we use it for a good habit, it will work. If we use it for a bad habit, that will also become a habit. Creating a good environment. If you often feel hungry and eat too much junk food, then what should you do? Make those junk foods invisible. Keep them out of sight. Instead of keeping junk food near your bed, put it somewhere far away in a corner where you can't see it. Similarly, if you want to develop a good habit, do the same. So, set up your environment in a way that makes it easy for you to do that thing. For example, if you want to read books, keep more books around you so that whenever you see them, you get a cue like, okay, I should read a book. And then you actually read it. Similarly, by following these 3 things, you can make your good habits obvious and eliminate bad habits by making them invisible. Keep them away from your sight and environment. Make their cues as unclear as possible. Don't bring clarity to them, and don't set a clear path for them. Now, the next characteristic is make it attractive versus make it unattractive. I want you to close your eyes and think about your favorite junk food, that unhealthy food that you absolutely love eating and enjoy the most. As soon as you think about it for a while, I am so sure that your mouth might start watering. Why? Because food is very attractive to you. Have you ever noticed how junk food advertisements are made? They are designed to be highly attractive. Take Coca-Cola ads, for example. What is it really? Just black, sugary water. But the way they present it, it looks so appealing that it feels like an amazing and irresistible thing. They have made it so attractive that what happens? Many times, when we feel thirsty and go to eat or drink something, we end up ordering cola or similar drinks instead of water because it is very attractive. Similarly, junk food also looks very attractive to us. But on the other hand, if you look at salad, it doesn't appear that attractive. Regular vegetables, if you look at them, don't seem that attractive. Going to the gym often doesn't feel very attractive. When it comes to wealth, spending money on new things feels very attractive. Buying new clothes and showing them to others, what does this do? It feels attractive to us and also attracts others toward us. That's why people develop a habit of constantly buying new things. We can't afford an iPhone, yet we buy it on a payment plan. Why? Because it's attractive. It feels exciting. Spending money seems like an attractive feature, while earning money, nobody notices that. It doesn't feel as attractive. Working hard, maybe getting criticized, hustling day and night, these things don't look or feel attractive. That's why we don't enjoy putting in hard work and doing all these things. Whereas buying things or going to a Coldplay concert feels very attractive to us. From a relationship perspective, look at how much Instagram and similar platforms are being used today. Why? Because they are filled with attractive things. We all know that people can be beautiful and strong. And what does Instagram do? It can amplify that attractiveness by 10x. How? People are already naturally attractive, but nowadays, what do? They might get cosmetic procedures, apply makeup, use filters, and then pose in ways that make them look even more attractive. And because of this, many people end up mindlessly scrolling on Instagram, getting trapped in bad habits, and spending too much time on the internet. Whereas, on the other hand, real people in real relationships often don't seem as attractive. They don't have the 5x or 10x power of filters, surgeries, or makeup. And because of this, sometimes even good people, modest and genuinely kind-hearted individuals who could be great for you, don't seem as appealing. There is no attraction to them. People stay glued to their phones and fail to build meaningful relationships. And even if someone is attractive, at the very least, we should find it appealing to approach them, build confidence, discuss difficult situations, or even talk to our parents. But these things don't seem attractive, which is why they never become habits in our lives. When it comes to happiness, notice this. In movies, you often see the hero smoking a cigarette, looking extremely cool and attractive. Because of this, from a young age, we start feeling like we also want to be heroes. And to become a hero, what do? We start smoking too. Smoking, drinking alcohol, all these things are marketed in a very attractive way. Directly or indirectly, it is repeatedly shown that all these bad habits are very attractive. Because of this, we naturally get attracted to them. It's as simple as that. On the other hand, good habits, like drinking plain water, going for a walk, or talking to your family, don't seem attractive to us. Why? Because no money is being spent on marketing them. Now, this again becomes a problem. What's the solution? How can we make good habits more attractive? Well, again, I'll tell you 3 things. First, use temptation bundling. Whatever good habit you want to build in your life, for example, waking up early in the morning, pair it with something tempting you want to do. For example, if you want to wake up early, need to do, pair it with drinking your favorite coffee, want to do. Tell yourself, as soon as I wake up, I'll get to enjoy my coffee while I start my work. Temptation? Bundling is simple. Connect something you want to do with something you need to do. Second, to make a habit more attractive, join a culture that supports it. Join people where the habit you want to build is completely normal. For example, if you want to develop the habit of going to the gym or waking up early, become part of a group where everyone wakes up early. Why? Because humans are social creatures. We tend to follow what others around us are doing. If many people around you are waking up early, you will feel more motivated to wake up early too. But if you keep watching videos saying, I'm a Night owl, I don't like waking up early. I'm so cool. Then what will happen? You'll start thinking, I want to be cool too. I'll also stay up late. And since this is easy to do and enjoyable, you'll naturally fall into that habit. Instead of celebrating the wrong habits, celebrate the good habits. Surround yourself with people who have already built the positive habit you want to develop in your life. Next, to make things more attractive, create motivating rituals. For example, if you observe, many people have daily rituals: waking up, brushing their teeth, using the toilet, maybe praying, and then eating a good meal. In this, the author basically says that before doing any good habit you want to develop in your life, create a ritual by doing something you really enjoy. For example, eating a piece of dark chocolate, listening to motivational music, or doing anything that excites you. This way, you create a ritual linked to the good habit, making it easier to follow. On the other hand, you need to do the exact opposite to remove a bad habit from your life. What should you do? Make it as unattractive as possible. Remember this: watch videos that show how harmful and uncool smoking actually is. For any bad habit you have in your life, visualize its negative effects. Listen to people talking about its downsides and make it as unappealing as possible in your mind. The more unattractive it becomes to you, the higher the chances that the habit will fade from your life. For both breaking bad habits and building good habits, you need to focus on make it easy versus make it difficult. Notice how easy it has become to eat unhealthy food today. No matter where you go, the moment you step outside, junk food is readily available. You will easily find a shop on every street corner selling sweet and tasty food that is cheap but unhealthy for you. On the other hand, if you go out looking for something healthy, it will often be expensive and harder to find. For example, where I live, healthy options in food courts are limited, and even if they are available, they are very expensive and not as enjoyable. Whenever I think of a healthy option, the only thing that comes to my mind is Subway to some extent. Even that, as you know, is not really that healthy. But if I think about unhealthy options, the entire food court is filled with them. They are cheaper, tastier, and more enjoyable. Not just in terms of food, but if you look at relationships as well, certain self-gratifying behaviors have become very easy. Masturbation, watching porn. All of this is very easy. You can do it quickly without spending any money or investing much time. It's very easy to engage in these things, and you might even enjoy them in the short term. Everything can seem fine. But on the other hand, getting into a meaningful, real relationship, talking to a real person whom you actually like, that's a different challenge altogether. The person with whom you may want to build a long-term relationship in the future, maybe even marry, approaching them, building a good relationship with them, that's difficult. That's why our mind gravitates toward the easier option and pushes us to do what is effortless. Similarly, when it comes to wealth, just staying at home and doing nothing is very easy. Doing nothing and just scrolling on your mobile is very easy. But if I tell you to go and learn a skill to make money, develop your talents, build discipline, that's difficult. If I ask you to read a book, it feels even more difficult, right? No matter how much I explain, you won't feel like doing it because it's hard. And if you observe closely, in any situation where you have an easy option and a difficult option, we always tend to choose the easy one. We always choose the easy habit. Notice this even in terms of happiness. Some time ago, I was traveling for a podcast. While I was on my way there, unfortunately, I forgot to bring a book. So I was looking around on my way from the airport to their office, thinking about getting a book for my host. A book would have been a great gift. But I kept searching, and guess what? Not a single bookstore was visible on my way. Whereas, on the other hand, cigarette shops and even liquor stores were everywhere. I could spot one on almost every street. This clearly shows how easy it is. If you want to feel happy, you can get it so easily. You can easily achieve a temporary sense of happiness by becoming an addict, consuming substances, and getting high. But if you want to achieve happiness through reading books, developing good habits, or spirituality, it has been made so difficult in today's society. So, what's the solution? Well, the solution is to start making bad habits difficult and start making good habits easier. For this, What should you do? Well, in this book, the author shares many techniques, and I will share some of them with you. One key technique is to reduce the number of steps required to build a good habit. For example, if you want to develop the habit of going to the gym, but every morning you have to wake up, find your workout clothes, and go through a lot of hassle, it becomes difficult. After that, you will pack your gym bag, wear your shoes, and then go to the gym. This involves too many steps, making it difficult. So, what should you do? Make it easy. Maybe prepare your gym bag before going to bed. Or sleep in the clothes you plan to wear to the gym. What will this do? Things will become easier. You will only need to take one step. Maybe wake up in the morning or in the afternoon, pick up your bag, and just head to the gym. The more you simplify the steps, the easier it will be to build that habit. On the other hand, the more steps you add between yourself and a bad habit, the less you will feel like doing it. For example, if you have a strong craving for sweets and you keep them within arm's reach, where you just have to pick them up and eat, then it's easy, and you will keep eating them repeatedly. But if you put those sweets in a box, then put that box inside another box, and then inside yet another box, making it harder to access. Just think about it yourself. If you crave sweets, will you really go and open box after box every time? You might do it occasionally, but the probability will be very low, and the chance of repeating it frequently will be even lower. So the first thing you should do is, for good habits, reduce the number of steps required. For bad habits, increase the number of steps, which is called adding friction. Then you can use the 2-minute rule, basically whenever you want to. Build a good habit. You often overcommit by making big promises, like, if I go to the gym, I'll do this, I'll do that. I'll work out for an hour and complete all exercises. Don't think like that. Just tell yourself, I'll go to the gym for just 2 minutes and do an exercise for 2 minutes. When you start trying to do any good habit for just 2 minutes, you'll notice that the biggest friction is simply getting started. Once that initial resistance is broken, you'll automatically feel like doing more. In fact, the author even says that it's okay not to do it for half an hour. Even if you stop after 2 minutes, it's fine. Just go for 2 minutes. The author gives an example of a guy who used to go to the gym just for 2 minutes, check the place, and then leave. He did this for a month, and once he built the habit of going, he naturally started working out and eventually transformed his body. Similarly, follow the 2-minute rule. If you want to read books, don't think about finishing the whole book. Just think, I will read for 2 minutes and read for 2 minutes. Once the habit is built, then improve it and increase the duration. Next, what you can do is automate your habit. Set up subscriptions or systems that make the habit occur more automatically after an initial setup. If you love reading books, then maybe get a book subscription so that books keep coming to you. When you constantly have new books arriving, you will at least read one page again and again. This will slowly make you realize that you are a reader, and you will naturally start reading more. If you want to go to the gym, then get a membership. Make a commitment with a friend, like saying, we will definitely go to the gym together, and if I don't go, I owe you X amount. Another method is called master the decisive moment. How good or bad your life turns out is defined by the decisions you make. For example, if you chose to watch this video, that itself is a positive decision. Similarly, whenever you get a chance to make a decision, choose the one that takes you closer to your ideal self, the best version of yourself. For example, watching a video and taking action. Even after watching this video, you will have a decision to make. Should you take action on what you learned, or just close this video and watch something else? Should you waste time scrolling, or just go to sleep? These decisive moments keep coming, and what you choose in those moments shapes your future. Start mastering those decisive moments. All these strategies will make it easier to build good habits in your life. And if you do the opposite, your bad habits will start fading away. In the Make It Difficult approach for bad habits, the author mentions increasing the number of steps to make bad habits harder and using friction and barriers. You can create commitment devices, maybe make a public commitment. Post on social media saying, I will go to the gym daily from now on. By doing this, if you don't follow through, it will create a problem for you. Social pressure. If there's a penalty, we often don't like to look bad or waste our money. So, when you make a commitment, whether through your words, time, or money, it becomes difficult to back out. Especially if you've invested a significant amount of money, it adds more pressure to follow through. Now, let's move on to the fourth and final characteristic, which is something you must implement if you want to build good habits. Make it satisfying versus make it unsatisfying. Imagine this scenario. You are extremely hungry. Now, you have two options. The first option is that there is a junk food shop right next to you, offering cheap, tasty food that will quickly satisfy your hunger. The second option is to resist. The temptation: go home, cook food, or have it prepared, and then eat a healthy salad. Look at both options carefully. The second option might take a lot of time, and maybe by the time you're done, your hunger might even go away. Now tell me, which option feels more satisfying? Obviously, the junk food option feels more satisfying. Why? Because it's quick, it fills your stomach fast, and you feel satisfied instantly. And this is exactly what happens most of the time. In life, when it comes to wealth, just thinking about wealth or blaming others feels very satisfying. Saying things like, the government is bad, the world is unfair, life is tough, people are the reason I'm not successful. Blaming others feels satisfying because it makes us believe it's not our fault. But I once heard a quote: if you want to feel good, blame others. But if you want to get better, take responsibility. Blaming others feels satisfying. It's easy to do, and our brain naturally prefers it. On the other hand, holding yourself accountable isn't always easy. It's uncomfortable, but that's where real growth happens. Recently, I was learning two important skills related to wealth building, and they don't always feel instantly satisfying. Bad habits feel very satisfying. Even if you're feeling slightly uncomfortable, using your phone instantly gives you satisfaction, a quick dopamine hit. But when we build good habits, the satisfaction is delayed. You do feel satisfied, but only after some effort and time. That's why, when faced with two options, instant satisfaction or delayed satisfaction, we often choose instant gratification. This applies to health, wealth, and relationships as well. If you think about it, why do people engage in masturbation? Instant gratification is the key. Why do people do drugs for happiness? Because it gives instant pleasure. It makes them feel great right away. The same happiness can be achieved through prayer, meditation, or connecting with a higher power, but it takes time. The satisfaction is delayed. That's why people avoid these long-term rewarding habits and instead choose instant pleasures, which is exactly what we shouldn't be doing. So the solution to this problem is simple. Make good habits as satisfying as possible and make bad habits as unsatisfying as possible. How can you do this? Here are 3 strategies from this book. Use reinforcement. Whenever you do something good, immediately reward yourself. What do we usually do to ourselves? Whenever we do something good, like if someone wants to become a content writer and they create a video, they should reward themselves. But instead of rewarding themselves, they start punishing themselves. They think, oh, I didn't make a good video. The quality wasn't great. I didn't speak well. Instead of giving a reward, they punish themselves. But isn't punishment what makes bad habits feel unsatisfying? We don't judge ourselves as much for bad habits, but whenever we do something good, we judge ourselves harshly. We overanalyze and make it unsatisfying. That's completely wrong. Do the opposite. Reward yourself. Give yourself a treat. Do something that makes you feel good, something that feels like a reward in your own way. Perhaps small, healthy treats or enjoyable activities. The second thing you can do to make habits satisfying is habit tracking. For example, you can create a habit tracking system where you mark an X every day to track progress. 1 day done, 2 days done. When you see your streak continuing, it feels really good and motivating. It gives a satisfying feeling that yes, I am working consistently on myself and my goals. You can also start habit tracking like this. One more thing you can do is never skip twice. When you track your habits, there might be a day when you tried your best, but you fell sick or something happened at home. If you miss a habit for some reason, always remember this rule. Never miss 2 days in a row. Because once you start skipping 1 or 2 days, missing the 3rd day becomes easier, then the 4th day, and soon your habit will completely break. That's why it's better to track your habits and never skip twice. If you follow all these things, you will feel a lot more satisfaction and progress. You will feel proud of yourself. You will experience the winner's effect, which will further strengthen your good habits. On the other hand, you can do the opposite for bad habits. Get an accountability partner, someone who reminds you repeatedly that a habit is bad and stops you from doing it. This will make it harder to feel satisfied with bad habits. If someone keeps telling you repeatedly that what you're doing is wrong, how will you feel? Unsatisfied. So, try to have an accountability partner. Create a habit. Contract for yourself. How does a contract work? If it's broken, there's a penalty to pay. Similarly, create a personal contract where, if you break your habit, you have to pay a price for it. You should have some form of consequence so that engaging in a bad habit feels like a penalty rather than satisfaction. To truly build good habits, make them obvious, easy, attractive, and satisfying by using all these principles. The key is to take action. Yes, these concepts might stay somewhere in our minds, which is good, but real change happens only when we take action. If we want to learn the key lessons and get the best output from them in our lives, creating real results, then we must take action. And there is nothing better than taking action. Applying the lessons from books into real life, building consistency, and developing good habits using principles like those in Atomic Habits can be truly transformative. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your friends so that you all can build good habits together in your life. That's it for now. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.